I started journaling 2 years ago and I didn't know it would change how I see myself. So today we're going to talk about that. So relax if you want, feel free to journal, but today's going to be more of a cozy video. So let's go. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nora and we do everything art related, everything cozy, and we're just gonna have a lot of talks, and that's what we're gonna have today because it's all about journaling. And I feel like since I started journaling, a lot of things changed, and I feel like I started just like 2 years ago, okay? And that is the moment when I moved to Canada and I did not know what to do with my life. I felt lost. Let's not talk about that. The video is about the journaling. Since I started journaling, I feel like life became so much better. And I'm not even over exaggerating, okay? That is not some clickbait. All I want to do is share with you what it did to me and how much it changed my life. Where should I start? I feel like when I started journaling, I did not even know how to do that. I thought there was only something like bullet journaling. Okay, I did not know that there are different versions of journaling. There is something like junk journaling, scrapbooking, and I don't know. There are even so much more that I don't know right now. I felt like I kind of like want to include my art as well because I'm also an artist. I'm actually creating art. I'm drawing a lot. I use a lot of watercolor, and for those that don't know, I actually am a fashion designer. So I have been working as a fashion designer. I've been studying that back home, and since that I've been actually working in that industry, and I feel like it became a little bit, yeah, I don't want to say boring, but I feel like a little bit overwhelming. And I took a break and I'm trying to figure out if that thing is still for me. I still work in that field right now, but since I'm also in a new country and life changed a lot, I feel like I was overwhelmed. Okay, everything was too much. And trying to get back into doing art and creating art was also something I wanted to do to figure out actually who I am. Where am I as an artist? Am I an artist? Am I just somebody who likes art? Do I want to do it professionally? All this stuff. And I felt very, very lost. Yeah, I feel like journaling helped me a lot to find actually not only I'm still figuring out, right? But like, what is my art style? What is my color theme? But also like discovering new sides on being creative, because I have been used to draw and to design clothes, and I haven't been really into the whole artsy or craftsy stuff other than that. So I was never really doing any other projects like polymer clay, collaging. I was just simply, at some point, I was just a designer who delivered the product or the design, and that's it. There have been quite a lot of people that have made my experience as a designer very, very uncomfortable, and where I felt like, okay, maybe that's not my field. Journaling right now helps me to figure out things, and it's not just like me as an artist, where do I stand as an artist, but also me as a person, me as Nora. And that was crazy. I feel like I did not expect that much change on how I view myself. Who am I if I'm not doing art? So I felt like just experimenting, writing down thoughts you have, and kind of still making them look aesthetic or in a way of how you understand aesthetics, or to explore, develop your sense of aesthetic. Okay, don't get confused about the aesthetic that we see right now on social media. That's not what I mean. But if that's also yours, then that's fine too. I feel like reflecting a lot on things or writing down to-do lists and making them look cute, using stickers and just making life pretty. I feel like when I was journaling, I'm still journaling. I'm going to journal later. So what am I talking about? I feel like making things aesthetic in your journal feels like you're making your life prettier. You're making your life aesthetic. You know what I mean? It feels like to-do lists become pretty, and it's not just superficial. I'm not talking about that things have to be pretty or something. What I mean is like things feel a bit more intentional as well. You sit down, you write down what you need to do in that day. Or at the end of the day, I like also to just reflect what I've been doing or how I've been feeling, depending on my cycle or something. I see a lot of change in my mood, and I can also kind of track it. I can see patterns, I can see how I feel, what changes. I'm aware of what I prepare, what I cook. I'm even more intentional now with what I cook. Even when I do groceries, I feel like doing groceries has been so stressful within all these years. And living now together with my partner, the first time we're living together, so it's like we're doing all these things together now, doing groceries, doing chores, and all this stuff. They became a bit more intentional, and I think journaling helps a lot with that. I can break things down now, or everything gets a bit more clear about, yeah, my plans, dates, or even like if I have appointments. I was a person that was always being late, but I feel like even writing down now, don't get me wrong, I have been writing down appointments before that. I just always have been late. I don't know what it is. It makes actually no sense just because I write down my appointments in my journal that I'm actually not late anymore. I don't know how that works. For some reason it works, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, okay? But yeah, one thing I actually wanted to mention is that please, if you start journaling or if you're journaling, you can relate to me. You probably gonna start buying a lot of stuff what you actually don't need, okay? So right now I'm that state where I own a lot of washi tape and it kind of escalated, and a lot of stickers and a lot of, I don't know, journal stuff, but I feel like now I have so much I don't even know how to organize them. So if you want to start and you don't know where to start, try to not get too much at once. And one thing I do is what helps me is like the concept of pan challenging. So I simply choose a few things that I want to pan challenge that I want to use, and it helps me also to be a bit more intentional because I bought a lot of things unintentionally. So I bought a lot of washi tape, for example, and now I, for example, have always like a selection of 5 washi tapes that I'm going to use in my next spreads. And it kind of helps me also to concentrate a little bit more on what I have and to appreciate the things I have. Yeah, like I'm not trying to tell you have to be frugal, okay, because I'm not. If that concept works for you, that's totally fine. I feel like for me, I love having things, but I noticed that I loved it a little bit too much, that I collected way too much. Okay, and now I have the issue with like, what do I do with all that stuff? And then I am overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, I have so much stuff. I don't know where to start. And I had this phase where I actually wasn't journaling because of that. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff. I don't even know where to start. So what helps? Yeah, have a smaller selection of things and then work with these. I am a big fan of junk journaling. Something between junk journaling and scrapbooking. Bullet journaling is alright. I feel like it's not working that good for me. I don't know what's happening. But I got a planner. You know what? I'm gonna show you that one. I just advertised to not buy new stuff and then I just bought that one. Don't be angry at me, okay? But yeah, so I got that planner and it starts in August. So it started a few days ago and I started already journaling in it. It does nothing. What I'm doing is a bit more organizing. So I have August and then I have like very vague general plans. And then I reflect a little bit at the end of the day. So I kept doing this in my diary, but I couldn't keep that as a habit. I don't know what it is. I felt a little overwhelmed. So what helps me now is that here is the day and a little bit of space. I have one sentence where I just say I feel anxious or I felt happy. And then sometimes I just like go into detail. And I don't know, I feel like it's doing so much with just sitting with your thoughts and your feelings. What I haven't been doing actually for so many years since life changed so much. Moving from Germany to Canada, it wasn't just like, the location, but I felt like my whole life changed. And I have to speak English now 24/7. Like the German community is very, very small, I would say. So thinking and speaking in my second language, journaling in my second language too. I don't know. when this happened, but I am journaling in my second language. Oh my gosh, the back came off. The back came off. I did not even know that. Where is it? If you have like a book like that and you go through it, there are so many memories, so many experiences you wrote down, and it is so fun to go through that. Sometimes I sit down and I go through my journal, and I'm just happy to see what I already experienced since I'm here. So if you haven't started yet, try it out. You can get a small journal just like that. It's a very, very compact size. I hope that was interesting for you. I had so much fun sharing these thoughts with you. I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.